Hey guys, I got a new project. I've recorded this damn intro 4 times now. This is the 4th one. And I gotta try and make this more concise because every one of these has been like 7 or 8 minutes long. So let me just try and abbreviate it. All right, so I had a lawnmower build, a racing lawnmower that I started this winter. And ultimately had a ton more time when I started it. And over the course of the project, had less and less and less time until I went about 2 months without touching the thing. And there's just not enough return on investment for a project that I don't know when I was going to get it done. I don't know that I have the time to even race it, let alone going out and goofing off with it. And it took up a ton of space. So it just had to go. I just couldn't commit to it as much as I wanted to. It was going to be awesome. The build is super cool looking. And I decided that it had to go. So I put it up for sale and said, with one caveat, I'll consider one trade, and it was motorcycles or scooters. And sure enough, a fella named Mitch got in touch with me and said, I've got this 1978 Yamaha XS650, and I will trade this with you. It hadn't been ran in 10 years, and when he started testing things out, it had compression and it had basically a mouse colony living in the airbox. So he tore it apart, ultrasonic cleaned the carbs, and got this thing to pop off, and it actually runs, it'll idle apparently. So I got a video of it idling, and then when I met up with him to do the exchange, he had it running in the parking lot there. And he strikes me as a super honest, really good dude. He's local here, he's in the local lawnmower racing league, and he was gonna pick up where I left off with the build, so thrilled about all of that. And he got rid of a bike that's just been kind of like sitting in a shed, doing absolutely nothing for a decade and probably stressing him out. So here we are. I've got it titled XS650. So this kind of a project, and it's not even really going to be a project, it's going to be a little bit of a mild resto mod, probably put some dual sport tires on it, get this thing ready for moto camping, and make it look cool, but keep it simple. And the beauty of that is that a motorcycle like this, you don't need to have a lot of extra time. You had a rough day at work, you hop on a bike and you take it for a ride. You've got a Sunday afternoon to yourself, you hop on your bike, you ride up the shore, you go grab some lunch, some dinner, meet up some buddies for a little brap here and there, or you take it camping, and that's precisely what this thing is going to do for me. In the same way that my scooter does and any of my other bikes, but this one actually runs. So that's my rationale, and if nothing else, I'll put it up for sale if I find that I don't get to use it enough. So there we go. There's my novel. Hopefully this was a little more condensed explanation. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let's start the project. Alright, so one of the first things that this thing needs is a new battery, which, of course, sitting for 10 years, it's going to need a battery. So, what we're going to do, pop this thing open, we'll toss it in there, try and reuse this guy, and let's just see if we can get it started. I mean, the airbox isn't in it, so it'll probably idle, but I'm not so sure that it's going to be rideable at all. These are CV carbs, which means they have a vacuum diaphragm on them. They seem to like to have like a little bit of resistance, so it creates vacuum, like a little more vacuum inside of like Like the airbox is essentially a plenum, but you can get them running on pod filters. A million people have done it. It just takes a little bit of finagling. So we'll see if I can actually get this thing to run and ride at all. It also doesn't have a working choke right now. The lever that holds it in place is broken. So that's a little bit of a problem, and that's obviously gonna make this a little bit harder to keep it running and be able to ride it, but we'll see what we can do. So let's put this battery in and get started. Oh boy. All right, let's see if I can fill the garage with exhaust stink. Okay, set to run. Oh, we got neutral. Oh, what? I don't even got the choke on it. Look at that. Now I've been noticing a little bit of fluid down at the brake caliper, and the brake is a little weird. So it makes me think that I might have to pop that caliper apart and see if I can't get this thing to like loosen up. It might be getting a little sticky, but how cool is this? It's already running. I mean, I knew that it ran, but I didn't think it was going to be that easy to get this thing up and going. So I don't know. I want to check out a couple of things. I want to make it run again, make sure that the charging system is working, but it seems like it does. Check over all of the other things, make sure we've got turn signals and whatnot, brake light. But yeah, this is wild. Also, now the garage reeks. All right, 12.87. So that's not too bad. Charging circuit's working. Might need to just clean up a bunch of grounds and stuff like that. Make sure that the wires off the regulator rectifier are good. Just kind of inspect a lot of the electrical, but that was yeah, that was great. So I might need to open these up and clean up the contacts in there, but that's good. Damn, guys. Besides all the rusting corrosion, she seems pretty good. This is awesome.
Well, guys, I think this is going to wrap it up for this week. I went ahead and I placed an order for the parts to get this airbox back up to speed, but they're not going to be here for like a week, which really stinks. But that's just how it goes sometimes. The shipping is going to take a little bit longer than expected. So we're just going to end this video here, and we're going to pick it up back on the next video in the series by doing some restoration work on that airbox, and then possibly dealing with the brakes on the front here, because we know that there's something going on with this front caliper. It's got a little bit of weepage, and it's got a little bit of corrosion, I think, that's making that caliper move slow. So thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.